Marcus Aurelius and the Burden of Power. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the world feels distant and softened by silence, we reflect on the life of Marcus Aurelius, a man who carried the weight of an empire yet remained a student of himself. Born into privilege, he could have indulged in luxury or ambition, but from an early age his mind turned toward reflection, self-discipline, and understanding. Power came to him not as a reward, but as a profound responsibility, heavy, unavoidable, and deeply personal. As Emperor of Rome, Marcus faced unrelenting challenges. Wars pressed at the borders, plagues swept through cities, and political tension simmered without end. Amid this turbulence, he did not seek comfort or escape. Instead, he approached each crisis with calm seriousness, guided by reason and a commitment to duty. His rule was not about dominance, display, or fear. It was about thoughtful governance, moral clarity, and service to the people. In solitude, often in military camps far from Rome, he wrote quietly to himself. They were personal reminders to remain humble, rational, and just, even while wielding absolute authority. He reminded himself that power is fleeting, praise is temporary, and anger erodes judgment. While others ruled through fear or ambition, Marcus sought to rule through reason, virtue, and measured action. The burden he bore was not only political, but profoundly moral. How could one remain virtuous in a world that rewarded cruelty and self-interest? How could one stay human while standing above millions? His answer was simple yet demanding. Endure, act rightly, cultivate inner peace, and accept what cannot be controlled. Marcus Aurelius teaches that true strength is quiet, that leadership requires restraint, and that the greatest power lies in governing oneself first. His life reminds us that even at the height of authority, inner peace and moral discipline are the ultimate burdens and the most enduring lessons. The Philosopher, Emperor of Rome. Marcus Aurelius is remembered not only as a ruler, but as a philosopher, a thinker who carried the weight of the Roman Empire with reflection and restraint. From the moment he ascended to power, he approached leadership as a moral exercise, blending the duties of an emperor with the discipline of a Stoic. He understood that ruling Rome was not a privilege to be enjoyed, but a responsibility to be shouldered with care, thoughtfulness, and self-control. His daily life was a careful balance between administration, military campaigns, and personal reflection. While Rome faced threats from hostile tribes, political unrest, and the inevitability of human suffering, Marcus Aurelius never allowed the chaos around him to disturb the order within. In his private moments, he wrote extensively, recording meditations meant not for public acclaim, but to strengthen his own character, reminding himself of virtue, patience, and reason in the face of life's trials. As emperor, he faced decisions that affected millions. Each choice was heavy with consequence, yet he strove to act ethically, seeking justice and fairness, even when expedience tempted otherwise. He believed that true leadership was not measured by power or conquest, but by wisdom, empathy, and self-mastery. His mind remained disciplined, analyzing each challenge through the lens of reason, moral duty, and the impermanence of fortune. Marcus Aurelius exemplified the delicate harmony of action and contemplation. He ruled an empire at its height, while nurturing the life of the mind, demonstrating that authority and philosophy need not be opposed. His life was a testament to the enduring Stoic principle that the greatest power lies in mastering oneself before seeking to master the world. In this way, he remains a model not only of leadership, but of quiet resilience, moral courage, and reflective thought. A ruler guided by Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome not merely as an emperor, but as a student of life, guided by the principles of Stoicism. From the earliest years of his education, he was taught to value reason, virtue, and self-discipline above wealth, status, or fleeting pleasures. When he assumed the throne, these lessons became the foundation of his rule, shaping every decision, every action, and every reflection. Power for him was a duty, and wisdom was the compass that ensured he carried it rightly. His reign was marked by constant challenge, wars along the empire's borders, political instability, and the daily trials of governing millions of lives. Yet, Marcus did not let the pressures of office compromise his inner calm. In the solitude of his chambers, on quiet walks through the city, or during long nights in military camps, he reflected on human nature, mortality, and the responsibilities of leadership. These contemplations, later recorded in his meditations, were reminders to act justly, to endure adversity, and to cultivate equanimity regardless of circumstance. Stoicism taught him that much in life is beyond control, and it was this principle that shaped his approach to both power and hardship. Anger, fear, and vanity were weaknesses to be resisted. Compassion, reason, and self-restraint were strengths to be embraced. Even as an emperor, he never saw himself above humanity. Through his writings and actions, Marcus Aurelius showed that true leadership is quiet and deliberate, rooted in reflection rather than spectacle. His life demonstrates that the greatest guidance comes not from wealth, titles, or force, but from wisdom, virtue, and the patient cultivation of the mind. In an empire defined by ambition and conflict, he remained a steady example of moral clarity, inner strength, and stoic resilience. Meditations and the Inner Life of an Emperor. Marcus Aurelius, though an emperor commanding one of the largest empires in history, spent countless hours in quiet reflection. Amid the weight of governance, military campaigns, and the burdens of power, he turned inward, exploring the nature of virtue, mortality, and the human mind. These private reflections, collected as meditations, were not written for fame or public approval. They were a personal guide, a compass to navigate the complexities of life and leadership. In these writings, Marcus examined himself with honesty and rigor, confronting his weaknesses, fears, and desires. He reminded himself daily that life is transient, that fortune is unpredictable, and that control is only possible over one's own thoughts and actions. Stoicism was his lens, teaching him to embrace hardship with calm, to respond to injustice with reason, and to cultivate a mind that remains undisturbed by the chaos surrounding it. Even as Rome faced invasions, political intrigue, and disease, Marcus' inner life was disciplined, ordered, and purposeful. He practiced gratitude for the simple aspects of life, patience with his fellow humans, and detachment from ego and fleeting pleasure. His meditations were a rehearsal for moral action, a way to prepare for the challenges of leadership, and a means to remain humane in a role that demanded authority and strength. Through meditations, we glimpse the paradox of the philosopher emperor, a ruler with immense power, yet devoted to self-mastery, an authoritative figure, yet humble in reflection. Marcus Aurelius teaches that the life of the mind can coexist with the life of duty, and that true power comes not from control over others, but from mastery over oneself. Even centuries later, these reflections continue to inspire, reminding us that the inner life is the foundation upon which enduring leadership is built. Rome at war under a thinking emperor. Marcus Aurelius' reign was marked by continuous conflict, as Rome faced pressure from invading tribes along its northern borders and unrest in distant provinces. Unlike many leaders who might have relied on brute force or impulsive decisions, Marcus approached war with careful thought, strategy, and a sense of moral responsibility. He understood that every order, every movement of troops, carried profound consequences for both the soldiers and the civilians who lived in the shadow of battle. Even amid the chaos of campaigns, he maintained a disciplined mind. His meditations reveal a man constantly reflecting on the nature of duty, courage, and human suffering. Marcus reminded himself that war was not an opportunity for glory, but a burden to be borne with patience, reason, and restraint. Every decision, every directive was weighed not only for its immediate tactical benefit, but also for its moral impact on those under his care. He spent months on campaign, enduring harsh conditions alongside his legions, observing the fragility of life and the unpredictability of fortune. Through hardship, plague, and exhaustion, he kept the Stoic principles of endurance, rationality, and inner calm as his guide. His soldiers respected not only his authority, but also the fairness and thoughtfulness with which he led. Marcus Aurelius understood that leadership in war required more than strength. It required wisdom, patience, and the ability to remain composed under pressure. In Rome and on the battlefield, he demonstrated that a ruler can be both decisive and contemplative. Marcus Aurelius showed that a thoughtful mind, disciplined reflection, and moral integrity could guide an empire even through the darkest hours of conflict. Duty above desire in the life of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius lived a life defined by responsibility, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to duty. Though he was Emperor of Rome, possessing immense wealth, influence, and privilege, he never allowed personal desire to outweigh the needs of the empire or the principles of Stoic philosophy. Every day, every decision was a careful balance between moral responsibility, the welfare of his people, and the maintenance of personal integrity. From a young age, he had been trained to value virtue over comfort and wisdom over indulgence. As emperor, this training was tested continuously. Wars raged on distant frontiers, disease ravaged cities, and political intrigue threatened stability at every turn. Yet Marcus Aurelius accepted these burdens without complaint. He recognized that leadership was not a reward or a right, but a responsibility, sometimes harsh, always demanding, and never to be taken lightly. He practiced self-restraint in all things, resisting luxury, excessive pleasure, and impulsive reactions. His meditations reveal constant reflection, a reminder to place duty above ego, temper ambition with reason, and confront challenges with patience. Even in private, Marcus Aurelius disciplined himself. He examined his thoughts, tested his motives, and sought to act in accordance with reason rather than desire. This constant inner vigilance allowed him to navigate the complexities of empire without losing sight of virtue. His life demonstrates that the greatest achievements are not those that satisfy the self, but those that honor duty, serve others, and cultivate wisdom. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that leadership, life, and human fulfillment are built upon self-mastery, moral responsibility, and a willingness to place duty above fleeting desire. In a world driven by ambition, his example remains enduring, quiet, and profoundly instructive. Stoicism on the Imperial throne. Marcus Aurelius is remembered as a philosopher emperor, a ruler who carried the immense weight of Rome with reflection, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to Stoic principles. While many emperors indulged in excess, ambition, and spectacle, Marcus understood that true power was not in conquest or display, but in the mastery of oneself. From the moment he ascended to the throne, he sought to align his actions with reason, virtue, and the greater good. Every day of his reign was a test of character. The empire faced external threats from invading tribes, internal unrest, and the ever-present unpredictability of fortune. In the midst of this turmoil, Marcus maintained an inner calm that reflected the Stoic ideal: to act rightly, to endure hardship, and to remain undisturbed by events beyond one's control. In private, he wrote extensively in what would later be known as meditations. These reflections were reminders to himself to practice humility, patience, and rational judgment. They were not intended for fame or legacy, but for self-guidance, tools to navigate the challenges of leadership with integrity. Marcus constantly reminded himself that praise is fleeting, anger is harmful, and virtue must guide every choice. Even amidst military campaigns, political crises, and personal loss, he remained attentive to the moral dimensions of rule. He balanced action with contemplation, authority with empathy, and duty with reason. Marcus Aurelius demonstrated that a ruler can wield immense power, yet remain profoundly human, guided by philosophy, reflection, and ethical purpose. His life teaches that leadership is not about indulgence or dominance, but about self-mastery and moral clarity. Stoicism on the imperial throne was his quiet strength, a compass that allowed him to govern an empire while nurturing a mind capable of enduring reflection, timeless wisdom, and lasting influence. Leadership without vanity. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire at the height of its power, yet he carried his authority with remarkable humility. Unlike rulers who sought glory, recognition, or personal enrichment, Marcus placed responsibility above ego, striving always to act justly, wisely, and in service to Rome. His leadership was defined not by self-interest or display, but by discipline, reflection, and moral integrity. He understood that power is fleeting and that a claim is unreliable. Every decision carried consequences for millions of lives, and every action reflected the values he sought to uphold. He resisted vanity, tempering ambition with reason and authority with compassion. Even when praised or honored, he reminded himself that true greatness lies not in recognition, but in ethical action. His meditations reveal a man constantly observing himself, questioning motives, and refining his character. He wrote of anger, pride, and fear, not to boast, but to remind himself that mastery of self precedes mastery of others. Leadership without vanity, for Marcus, meant ruling with clarity, patience, and a steady mind, unshaken by flattery or fear. Even on campaign, far from Rome, facing enemies, disease, and hardship, Marcus Aurelius remained calm, disciplined, and focused on duty. He led by example, showing that authority exercised without ego inspires respect, loyalty, and enduring impact. He demonstrated that humility and reflection strengthen governance, and that a leader guided by principle leaves a legacy far beyond the duration of power. Marcus Aurelius teaches that leadership is not about spectacle or fame, it is about service, ethical responsibility, and the courage to act rightly. Even centuries later, his life stands as a testament to the quiet, steadfast power of a ruler without vanity, whose greatest triumph was the discipline of his own mind. The last of the 5 good emperors, Marcus Aurelius is often remembered as the final figure in the line of Rome's 5 good emperors, a succession marked by stability, wisdom, and competent governance. Unlike many rulers whose reigns were defined by conquest or indulgence, these emperors prioritized justice, order, and the welfare of their people. Marcus inherited not only a vast empire, but also the responsibility of preserving this legacy, a burden he carried with quiet determination and thoughtful reflection. He faced immense challenges: northern tribes pressing at the borders, political factions competing for influence, and a persistent threat of disease. Yet, despite these trials, Marcus ruled with an unwavering sense of duty and moral purpose. He understood that the strength of an empire lies not only in armies or wealth, but in the character, discipline, and vision of its leaders. Even amidst public duties, Marcus turned inward. His writings, the Meditations, reveal a man seeking to govern himself as carefully as he governed Rome. He reflected constantly on mortality, virtue, and the fleeting nature of power, reminding himself that an emperor's true work is measured by the justness of his decisions, the clarity of his judgment, and the steadiness of his mind. As the last of the 5 good emperors, Marcus Aurelius was conscious of history. He sought to leave Rome stronger, more resilient, and guided by reason rather than fear. His reign exemplifies the delicate balance between authority and reflection, power and humility, action and contemplation. Marcus Aurelius shows that leadership is enduring not because of conquests or spectacle, but because of the quiet, principled exercise of responsibility. Even as the empire he inherited faced challenges beyond measure, he ruled with wisdom, stoic calm, and a commitment to the moral and intellectual cultivation that defined his life. Power, mortality, and the Roman soul. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of history's greatest empires, yet he never allowed power to cloud his understanding of human fragility. He understood deeply that life is finite, that fortune is fleeting, and that authority is temporary. Even as he commanded legions and administered cities, he remained acutely aware of mortality, both his own and the lives of those around him. This awareness shaped his leadership, guiding him to act with humility, compassion, and wisdom. The weight of responsibility was constant. Wars raged, borders were threatened, and plagues ravaged populations. Yet Marcus approached each challenge with a measured mind, reflecting on the impermanence of worldly success and the importance of virtue. He reminded himself that no external achievement could substitute for moral integrity or inner calm. Power, he believed, was an instrument to serve, not a privilege to indulge. His private writings reveal an intimate struggle with the burdens of authority and the inevitability of death. He examined his fears, tested his impulses, and sought a life aligned with reason, duty, and Stoic principles. In doing so, he cultivated a perspective that allowed him to face crises with patience, act decisively without arrogance, and govern an empire with steady hands and a disciplined mind. Marcus Aurelius demonstrates that the true Roman soul is not measured in conquest or display, but in the mastery of self, the cultivation of virtue, and the recognition of life's impermanence. His life is a reminder that leadership, wisdom, and human dignity coexist when power is tempered by reflection. Mortality is accepted, and the soul remains steadfast amidst the turbulence of the world. An emperor who sought self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius ruled with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, yet his most persistent pursuit was mastery over himself. He understood that true power does not lie in wealth, armies, or titles, but in the ability to govern one's own mind, desires, and impulses. Amidst political intrigue, constant warfare, and the pressures of leadership, he turned inward, practicing reflection, discipline, and Stoic self-control as a daily ritual. His private writings, compiled as meditations, reveal a man engaged in an ongoing dialogue with himself. He examined his faults, tempered his impulses, and reminded himself that anger, vanity, and fear could cloud judgment and erode both character and authority. Each reflection was a step towards self-mastery, a method to remain steady, ethical, and rational even when the empire demanded decisive action. Even the chaos of military campaigns or political crises, Marcus demonstrated that discipline of the mind can shape action in the world. He led by example, showing that patience, humility, and careful thought were more powerful than fear, intimidation, or fleeting ambition. Authority without self-mastery is fragile, he believed, but mastery over oneself allows one to navigate even the most turbulent situations with composure. Marcus Aurelius' life teaches that leadership is inseparable from personal integrity. A ruler who cannot command his own thoughts cannot justly command others. His example endures, showing that the cultivation of virtue, reflection, and discipline not only strengthens the individual, but can guide the fate of an entire empire. In seeking mastery over himself, Marcus Aurelius demonstrated that the quiet power of self-discipline shapes history in ways spectacle and conquest never could. Governing an empire while battling the self, Marcus Aurelius carried the immense responsibilities of the Roman Empire, yet he recognized that the greatest battles were often within himself. As emperor, he faced external threats, invading tribes, political unrest, and the relentless demands of governance. But he also confronted internal struggles, the pull of anger, the temptation of pride, and the challenge of remaining virtuous under pressure. His writings, the Meditations, reveal a ruler in constant dialogue with his own mind. Each reflection was a method of discipline, a reminder that true authority comes not from titles or armies, but from moral clarity, rational thought, and self-mastery. Marcus reminded himself daily that life is fleeting, fortune is unpredictable, and the only control he truly possessed was over his own thoughts, actions, and responses. Even while traveling to distant frontiers, enduring the hardships of military campaigns, and witnessing the fragility of human life in the midst of war and plague, Marcus maintained composure. He sought to govern with justice, patience, and compassion, knowing that an emperor's power is most effective when tempered by reflection and restraint. His inner battles against impatience, fear, and ego shaped the way he ruled, demonstrating that leadership requires both outward authority and inward discipline. Marcus Aurelius teaches that true leadership is as much about self-command as it is about governance. By confronting his own mind while guiding an empire, he embodied the Stoic principle that mastery over oneself is the foundation for moral action, in balancing external duty with internal struggle. He left a legacy that endures centuries later, a reminder that the quiet work of self-discipline can shape the course of history. War, plague, and the test of character. Marcus Aurelius ruled during one of Rome's most challenging periods, when the empire faced relentless wars at its borders and devastating plagues at home. These trials tested not only his leadership but also his character, revealing the depth of his Stoic philosophy in action. While others might have yielded to despair, pride, or impatience, Marcus met each challenge with calm reflection, patience, and unwavering moral clarity. The northern frontiers demanded constant attention. Tribes have threatened the stability of provinces, and Roman legions required steady guidance. Marcus traveled with his armies, enduring harsh conditions, disease, and fatigue, modeling resilience and discipline. He reminded himself that external events are beyond control, yet the mind can remain steady, ethical, and composed. Even amid the chaos of battle, he sought to act with justice, avoiding cruelty or vengeance, prioritizing reason over impulse. At home, the plague ravaged the population. Cities suffered, and thousands of lives were lost. Marcus faced the emotional weight of human suffering daily, yet he persisted in ruling with empathy and rationality. He understood that leadership is tested most not during times of prosperity, but in the crucible of adversity. His writings reveal reflections on mortality, duty, and the transient nature of life, serving as a guide for both himself and future generations. Marcus Aurelius teaches that true character is forged in crisis. Power alone does not define a ruler. It is the ability to remain virtuous, patient, and reflective under pressure that shapes a lasting legacy. War and plague could not shake his commitment to duty, reason, and moral clarity. Through these trials, he exemplified the Stoic ideal: to endure suffering with wisdom, to act ethically amid chaos, and to cultivate a steady mind in a turbulent world. The quiet mind behind Roman power. Marcus Aurelius wielded the authority of one of history's greatest empires, yet his true strength lay not in armies, wealth, or titles, but in the quiet power of his disciplined mind. He understood that the greatest challenges of leadership are internal, controlling anger, resisting pride, and maintaining clarity in the face of uncertainty. While Rome demanded action, his inner life demanded reflection, patience, and moral vigilance. Even as he directed legions, managed cities, and addressed political crises, Marcus maintained a deep commitment to Stoic philosophy. His meditations reveal a man constantly examining himself, testing his motives, and reminding himself that virtue, reason, and self-control are the true measures of leadership. He practiced humility, tempered ambition with compassion, and sought to govern with justice, even when personal desires or external pressures tempted him otherwise. The quiet mind behind Roman power was also a mind attuned to mortality, impermanence, and human fragility. Marcus knew that life is fleeting and that fortune can change without warning. By confronting these truths daily, he he strengthened his resilience, ensuring that his decisions were guided by principle rather than impulse. Even amidst war, plague, and political tension, his calm intellect served as a steady compass for the empire. Marcus Aurelius teaches that the most enduring power is internal. A ruler may command armies and shape history, but without self-discipline and reflection, leadership is fragile. His life demonstrates that calm, thoughtful reasoning can guide nations, endure crises, and leave a legacy that survives the passage of centuries. In the quiet, contemplative hours, Marcus' inner strength became the foundation for one of the most remarkable reigns in history. A life written for the self, read by the world. Marcus Aurelius spent much of his life in quiet reflection, writing not for fame, applause, or historical legacy, but for personal guidance. His private reflections, later compiled as meditations, were intended as a mirror for his own mind, a record of struggle, discipline, and moral inquiry. He wrote to understand himself, to cultivate virtue, and to navigate the immense responsibilities of ruling an empire. Yet centuries later, his words resonate with people across the world. These writings reveal a man striving to live ethically amid constant challenge. He faced war at Rome's borders, political intrigue within the city, and a personal weight of mortality and loss. Yet Marcus never allowed despair or vanity to guide him. Instead, he turned inward, reminding himself to act with patience, reason, and justice. Every reflection was a tool to sharpen his character, temper his emotions, and confront the inevitable hardships of life with calm determination. Though he never intended these writings for public consumption, they became a timeless guide to human nature, morality, and resilience. His thoughts on duty, self-control, and impermanence transcend time, teaching readers that the cultivation of the mind is the foundation for ethical action. Marcus' life exemplifies the quiet power of reflection. By examining oneself, one can navigate a complex world with clarity and integrity. The paradox of Marcus Aurelius is that a life written for self-examination became a beacon for humanity. His empire, his authority, and his actions were all grounded in principles meant to guide himself. Yet they illuminate lessons for all. He demonstrates that leadership, wisdom, and influence can arise from the disciplined contemplation of one individual, quietly transforming generations without spectacle or show. Fame without travel, a thinker who never left home. Immanuel Kant never traveled far from Königsberg, yet his influence stretched across Europe and beyond. Marcus Aurelius, while governing a vast empire, shared a similar principle. True impact is rooted in depth of thought and reflection, not mere presence or movement. Though Aurelius walked familiar paths in Rome and along the northern frontiers, his mind journeyed far, exploring virtue, ethics, and the human condition. His authority, like Kant's ideas, spread quietly but powerfully. Soldiers, citizens, and philosophers alike were shaped by his reasoned decisions, meditations, and ethical framework. Letters and reports from distant provinces reached him. Debates unfolded across the empire, and yet he remained grounded, disciplined, and devoted to reflection. Aurelius understood that leadership is as much about inner mastery as external action. Even amid war, plague, and political pressure, he maintained focus. Every challenge was a lesson in endurance, patience, and moral responsibility. His fame, though recorded in history, was not sought for personal glory. Like a philosopher contemplating the universe from a quiet study, he ruled with introspection, showing that calm thought can guide armies, shape laws, and influence the course of history. Marcus Aurelius demonstrates that presence is not measured by travel or spectacle, but by the clarity and depth of mind. His legacy reminds us that a thoughtful, disciplined life can impact the world profoundly, quietly, and enduringly. Even in the heart of Rome, he reached humanity itself, proving that true greatness begins from within. Virtue as the measure of a life. Marcus Aurelius lived in a world dominated by power, wealth, and ambition, yet he measured success not by conquest or acclaim, but by virtue. For him, the ultimate goal of life was moral excellence, the consistent practice of reason, self-discipline, and ethical reflection. Every choice, every action, every decision as emperor was guided by the principle that a life well lived is defined by character, not circumstance. Even amid wars, political intrigue, and the relentless pressures of ruling an empire, Marcus maintained a steady commitment to Stoic ideals. He reminded himself that external events, praise, insult, victory, or defeat, were beyond his control. What mattered most was his own response, his capacity for patience, fairness, and moral clarity. Each day was an opportunity to practice integrity, humility, and compassion, both in private reflection and public action. His meditations reveal a man striving to harmonize inner thought with outward responsibility. Virtue was the compass guiding him through crises of war, plagues that ravaged the population, and personal loss. He understood that power without morality is fragile, and that the endurance of an empire is inseparable from the character of its ruler. Marcus' Stoicism provided him with resilience, perspective, and a profound sense of purpose amid life's unpredictability. By holding virtue as the measure of life, Marcus Aurelius created a model of leadership and humanity that transcends centuries. His legacy reminds us that true greatness is not inherited or seized, but cultivated daily through reflection, ethical conduct, and self-mastery. In a world often distracted by glory or ambition, he demonstrates that the quiet, persistent pursuit of virtue can leave a mark far deeper than wealth, conquest, or renown ever could. Wisdom and governance, the Stoic Emperor. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire of immense complexity, yet he approached governance not with force or vanity, but with measured wisdom and stoic calm. He understood that authority is not a tool for indulgence or ego, but responsibility to act justly, prudently, and ethically. Every decision he made reflected a mind disciplined to balance reason, duty, and humanity. Even in the face of war, plague, and political unrest, his meditations reveal a ruler constantly examining his own judgments, impulses, and motivations. He wrote to remind himself that leadership is fragile without moral grounding, that power carries consequences, and that the measure of a ruler is found in integrity, fairness, and the ability to endure hardship without compromise. Marcus sought to govern with clarity, ensuring that decisions benefited the people, upheld justice, and maintained the stability of the empire. Even during military campaigns on distant frontiers, he practiced reflection and self-discipline. He observed the human condition with empathy, understanding the limits of control and the inevitability of suffering. His Stoic philosophy shaped not only his personal conduct, but also the way he administered Rome, blending rational thought, ethical consideration, and pragmatic action. Marcus Aurelius teaches that true wisdom in governance comes from steady mind, moral discernment, and the ability to act ethically under pressure. His life demonstrates that leadership is not defined by fear or spectacle, but by the quiet application of reason and virtue. In every challenge he faced, the Stoic Emperor showed that the endurance of both empire and character depend upon reflection, patience, and principled action. The Philosopher at War. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire under constant strain, with wars raging along distant frontiers and rebellions threatening the stability of Rome. Yet he faced these trials not merely as a military leader, but as a philosopher, blending the demands of command with the principles of Stoic thought. For Marcus, the battlefield was not only a place of strategy and force, but also a testing ground for reason, patience, and moral discipline. He traveled with his legions, enduring fatigue, scarcity, and disease alongside his soldiers. Even in the midst of conflict, he maintained reflection and composure, constantly reminding himself that anger, fear, and vanity could compromise judgment. His decisions were guided by a deep understanding of duty, ethics, and the fleeting nature of fortune. Each order he gave, each campaign he undertook, was tempered by reason, ensuring that action was aligned with virtue, not ego. Marcus' meditations reveal the inner life of a man balancing immense responsibility with the cultivation of personal integrity. He recognized that power without wisdom is destructive, and that leadership must prioritize justice, restraint, and empathy. War tested not only the empire, but the character of the ruler, and Marcus met these tests with calm reflection, stoic discipline, and unwavering focus on the greater good. The philosopher at war demonstrates that true strength is rooted in the mind as much as the sword. Marcus Aurelius' example shows that even amid the chaos of battle, a ruler guided by reason, virtue, and moral clarity can protect an empire, inspire loyalty, and endure hardship without sacrificing principle. His life reminds us that the greatest victories are won not only on the battlefield, but within the disciplined, thoughtful mind of the leader. Enduring lesson from a Stoic emperor. Marcus Aurelius' life offers lessons that extend far beyond the empire he ruled, the battles he fought, or the decisions he made. His enduring influence rests on a simple yet profound principle. The cultivation of virtue, wisdom, and self-mastery shapes both leadership and life itself. By practicing Stoic discipline, he navigated the complexities of war, plague, and political responsibility with composure, insight, and moral clarity. He taught that the greatest power is internal. Fortune, acclaim, and authority are transient, but the strength of character endures. Marcus reminded himself daily to act with reason, temper emotion, and serve others with integrity. His private meditations reveal a ruler constantly questioning, reflecting, and striving to live ethically in the face of immense pressure. In doing so, he created a framework for understanding duty, leadership, and human nature that remains relevant centuries later. Even when confronted with the chaos of imperial life, he prioritized self-discipline over indulgence, patience over haste, and virtue over vanity. His example shows that leadership is not measured by conquest, wealth, or fame, but by the ability to navigate life with ethical clarity and a steady mind. Marcus Aurelius' Stoicism guided his actions, shaped his decisions, and sustained him through trials that could have overwhelmed the lesser man. The lessons of a Stoic emperor endure because they are universal. Cultivate the mind, govern the self, and approach life's challenges with patience, reason, and moral purpose. Marcus Aurelius demonstrates that the quiet work of reflection, discipline, and ethical action can leave a legacy far greater than armies or empires ever could. His life remains a testament to the enduring power of wisdom, virtue, and the contemplative mind. The cost of power and responsibility. Marcus Aurelius bore the weight of Rome upon his shoulders, yet he knew that the privileges of power were inseparable from profound responsibility. Authority granted him the ability to shape the lives of millions, but it also demanded constant vigilance, patience, and moral clarity. Each decision carried consequences, and every action reflected not only on the empire, but on the character of its ruler. He endured wars at the empire's borders, plagues that ravaged cities, and political pressures that could have destabilized his reign. Yet Marcus faced these burdens with stoic discipline, recognizing that suffering is inevitable and leadership requires endurance, not escape. His meditations reveal a man acutely aware of the sacrifices demanded by duty, the personal moments he could not take, the leisure he forsook, and the quiet life he surrendered in order to serve. Even amidst turmoil, he practiced self-reflection, examining his motives, tempering impulses, and striving to act ethically. He understood that power is not an indulgence, but a responsibility to others, and that the true cost of authority is the constant effort to remain just, composed, and principled. His inner life was as demanding as his public one, requiring daily reflection, patience, and the cultivation of virtue. Marcus Aurelius' example teaches that leadership comes with unseen costs. Enduring power is earned not through ambition or conquest, but through moral discipline, reflection, and a willingness to shoulder burdens that others cannot. He demonstrates that the quiet, steadfast work of self-mastery and ethical decision-making carries a weight far heavier than titles or armies. It is this weight that shapes both ruler and realm alike. Marcus Aurelius beyond the throne. While Marcus Aurelius is remembered as one of Rome's greatest emperors, his life extended beyond the responsibilities of governance. His meditations, letters, and philosophical reflections reveal a man devoted not only to ruling wisely, but also to understanding the human condition, contemplating morality, and cultivating personal virtue. In these quiet moments, away from the public eye, he explored questions of ethics, purpose, and the nature of existence itself. Even with the empire depending on him, Marcus valued reflection as much as action. He examined his thoughts, desires, and fears, reminding himself daily that virtue is the true measure of a life. Leadership was a duty, but philosophy was his refuge and guide, a tool to maintain perspective amid chaos, a lens through which to interpret suffering, injustice, and fleeting fortune. His writings show that the life of an emperor need not be defined solely by conquest or authority. Marcus embraced the Stoic ideal that wisdom and self-discipline can coexist with responsibility and influence. He encouraged patience, ethical deliberation, and inner calm, proving that power can coexist with introspection and that the greatest victories are often unseen. Marcus Aurelius beyond the throne teaches us that the mind, reflection, and ethical self-examination are as vital as action and leadership. His legacy endures because he combined governance with philosophy, responsibility with contemplation, and authority with moral insight. In balancing these dimensions, he left a blueprint for thoughtful leadership, a testament to the enduring power of intellect, virtue, and quiet reflection. Final years and the reflection of a life. As Marcus Aurelius approached the final years of his life, he carried the immense burdens of empire with the same discipline and reflection that had guided him throughout his reign. Despite wars, plagues, and political turbulence, he maintained a steadfast commitment to virtue, reason, and moral clarity. His last years were not a retreat from responsibility, but a continuation of his lifelong pursuit of wisdom amid the trials of leadership. Even in the face of declining health and the inevitability of mortality, Marcus reflected deeply on life, duty, and human nature. His meditations capture these contemplations, revealing a ruler conscious of his limitations, yet steadfast in his ethical commitments. He reminded himself daily that all achievements are transient, that wealth and power are fleeting, and that the true measure of a life is found in character, integrity, and the way one responds to adversity. In these final years, he focused not only on governance, but on the enduring lessons he could impart, through example, writing, and careful counsel to those who would follow. His reflections were both personal and universal, a bridge between the practical duties of leadership and the philosophical pursuit of a meaningful life. Marcus demonstrated that even at the end of life, growth, insight, and moral reflection remain possible, shaping both the individual and a broader world. Marcus Aurelius teaches that a life of contemplation, discipline, and virtue does not wane with age or circumstance. In his final years, he exemplified the quiet strength of a Stoic leader, the enduring value of reflection, and the profound impact of a life governed by reason and ethical purpose. Even as his life drew to a close, the lessons he cultivated continued to guide, inspire, and endure. The legacy of Marcus Aurelius. The life of Marcus Aurelius leaves an enduring legacy, not in monuments, victories, or riches, but in the timeless wisdom of his reflections and the ethical example he set as a ruler. He demonstrated that leadership rooted in reason, virtue, and self-mastery can guide an empire while inspiring generations. His influence is felt not merely in history books, but in the principles of ethical governance, moral courage, and philosophical inquiry. His meditations endure as a guide to human life, offering insight into self-discipline, patience, and resilience. Marcus taught that challenges, whether war, disease, or personal struggle, are opportunities to cultivate strength, reflection, and virtue through calm introspection and ethical action. He showed that even immense power can be wielded responsibly, and that the mind, properly trained, can influence the world far beyond the limits of time and place. The legacy of Marcus Aurelius lies in the harmony he achieved between action and thought, leadership and reflection, duty and philosophy. He modeled a life in which public responsibility is inseparable from personal virtue, and where the quiet discipline of the mind becomes the foundation for enduring influence. Even centuries later, his writings, decisions, and character continue to inspire, offering a blueprint for thoughtful leadership, moral reflection, and stoic resilience. Marcus Aurelius demonstrates that true legacy is not measured in fame or conquest, but in the values, wisdom, and ethical principles left behind. His life reminds us that the cultivation of the mind, the practice of virtue, and the pursuit of reason can resonate through time, guiding humanity long after an individual's presence has faded. Lessons from a Stoic life. Marcus Aurelius' life offers lessons that extend far beyond the Roman Empire, wars, or the challenges he faced as emperor. His enduring wisdom lies in the consistent practice of Stoic principles, self-discipline, ethical reflection, patience, and rational thought. These qualities allowed him to navigate immense responsibility, uncertainty, and personal hardship with composure, leaving a legacy that transcends time. He teaches that the ultimate measure of a life is not power, fame, or conquest, but the cultivation of virtue and a mastery of oneself. Even while ruling a vast empire, Marcus never lost sight of the importance of introspection, humility, and moral clarity. Every decision, reflection, and action was informed by a philosophy that sought harmony between the demands of leadership and the ethical development of the individual. His writings remind us that challenges, whether external or internal, are opportunities for growth. War, plague, and political unrest tested his patience and judgment, yet he remained steadfast, demonstrating that strength comes from the mind and character rather than force or circumstance. Marcus Aurelius shows that the quiet work of reflection, ethical deliberation, and disciplined thought can leave a far deeper impact than spectacle or ambition ever could. The epilogue of his life is a call to consider our own paths, to face challenges with reason, act with virtue, and cultivate the mind. Marcus Aurelius exemplifies that true leadership and enduring influence arise from self-mastery, moral reflection, and the calm pursuit of wisdom. His Stoic life stands as a testament to the power of thought, the value of virtue, and the quiet strength of a disciplined mind. For more powerful stories from history, subscribe to Legacy by MAO. Your support truly matters.